I still remember the exact moment I broadcast my wife's betrayal to her entire family. The gasp of her mother through the phone, the stunned silence from her sister, the rage in her father's voice. But to understand that moment of perfect revenge, you need to understand the lie that came before it. Melissa and I met 14 years ago at a 4th of July barbecue. She wore a yellow sundress that made her skin glow, and when she laughed at my terrible joke about the overcooked burgers, I knew I was done for. That laugh, God, that laugh could light up a stadium. We were opposites in the best way. She was spontaneous where I was methodical, social where I was reserved, artistic where I was practical. We balanced each other perfectly, or so I thought. The early years were everything a marriage should be. Saturday mornings at the farmer's market, her hand in mine as we picked out tomatoes she'd never actually cook. Sunday dinners with her family, where her dad and I would escape to watch the game while the women gossiped in the kitchen. I worked my way up in construction management, proud that my salary meant she could quit her receptionist job and focus on her art. I thought I was building something permanent, laying foundation as carefully as I'd oversee a construction site. The changes started small, like hairline cracks in concrete. Her friend Sarah got divorced last spring, and suddenly Melissa couldn't stop talking about her. Sarah says marriage changes people, she'd mention casually over dinner. Sarah thinks couples need separate interests, she'd add with a thoughtful expression. Sarah this, Sarah that. The girls' nights started weekly, then became twice weekly. Shopping trips that used to take 2 hours stretched to 5. I noticed the new lingerie first. A black lace set I'd never seen before, tucked in the hay, back of her drawer when I was putting away laundry. When I asked about it, she said she'd bought it months ago, wanted to surprise me but forgot. The surprise never came. Her phone, which used to lie carelessly around the house, now lived face down, never leaving her side. She'd jump slightly when it buzzed, quickly checking it with a small smile that wasn't meant for me. The makeup routine that used to be reserved for date nights became standard for errands. She'd spend 40 minutes getting ready to go to Target, emerging looking like she was headed to a cocktail party. "I just want to feel good about myself," she'd say when I commented. "Is that so wrong?" 3 months ago, she came home from shopping with Sarah empty-handed. When I asked about it, she laughed, but not her real laugh, the nervous one she used when lying about eating the last piece of cake. "We just browsed," she replied quickly. "Nothing caught my eye." Her credit card statement showed no charges. Her car had gained 60 miles. Sarah lived 10 miles away. I wanted to trust her. Christ, I wanted to trust her more than I wanted to breathe. This was the woman who'd held my hand through my father's funeral, who'd spent 3 days sleeping in a hospital chair when I had my appendix out. But instinct is a powerful thing, and mine was screaming that something was very, very wrong. That night, as she slept beside me, her phone charging on the nightstand between us, I made a decision that would either save our marriage or destroy it completely. I was going to find out the truth, no matter what it cost me. The investigation started with our Verizon bill. I'd always paid it without looking. Melissa handled the small bills while I managed the mortgage and utilities. But that Tuesday morning, while she was in the shower, I logged into our account. The call logs told a story she'd never shared. A number appeared repeatedly, sometimes 5, 6 times a day. Text messages by the dozens. The number wasn't saved in her phone under any name I recognized. I became someone I didn't recognize, a detective in my own home. While Melissa painted in her studio, I checked the mileage on her Honda CR-V, jotting down the numbers in a small notebook I kept hidden in my toolbox. The patterns emerged quickly. Every girls' night added exactly 47 miles. Every shopping trip was 38 miles. The addresses these distances suggested weren't Sarah's house or any mall I knew. The hardest part was maintaining normalcy, kissing her goodbye each morning, asking about her day each evening, making love to her while wondering whose touch she was really thinking about. I'd catch myself staring at her during dinner, searching for the woman I married in the face of, this stranger who wore her skin. A reverse phone lookup gave me a name, Thomas Grayson. LinkedIn provided the rest. Divorced accountant, worked downtown, lived in Fairfield Heights. His Facebook was mostly private, but his profile picture showed a handsome man in his early 40s, salt and pepper beard, the kind of confident smile that probably worked well on lonely married women. 3 weeks into my investigation, I followed her. I'm not proud of it, but I needed to know. I told my foreman I had a dental appointment and left work early. Melissa's car was already gone when I drove past our house. I found it 20 minutes later, parked outside a modest 2-story house in Fairfield Heights, 38 miles from our home, exactly as the odometer had predicted. I parked 3 houses down, my heart hammering so hard I thought it might crack my ribs. The front door opened before she knocked. Thomas appeared, taller than his photos suggested, wearing jeans and a t-shirt like he'd taken the day off, too. The kiss wasn't a friendly peck. It was hungry, familiar, practiced. His hand tangled in her hair the same way mine used to. They disappeared inside, and I sat in my truck feeling like I'd been gutted with a rusty knife. But the construction manager in me kicked in. Emotion was for later, now was for documentation. I photographed his house, his address, his license plate. I noted the time she arrived, 2:17 p.m. When she left at 5:43 p.m., her hair was different, her makeup reapplied but smudged at the corner of her eye. She looked satisfied in a way that made me want to vomit. I drove home via a longer route, arriving after her. She was in the kitchen, humming while she cooked dinner, my favorite chicken parmesan. "How was work?" she asked cheerfully, kissing my cheek. I could smell him on her. A cologne I didn't recognize. Something expensive and woody. "Same as always," I lied, matching her deception with my own. "How was your day?" "Oh, boring," she replied with practiced ease. "Ran some errands? Worked on a painting. Sarah called. She might have a date this weekend." The lies flowed so easily from her lips. I recorded everything in my notebook that night. Dates, times, locations, her cover stories. This wasn't a moment of weakness or a single mistake. This was calculated, repeated, routine. She'd turned betrayal into a schedule. I had the proof I needed, but as I drove home that night, I realized proof wasn't enough. She had humiliated me in secret for months. Now it was time to return the favor, and I knew exactly how to do it. The plan came to me during a site inspection. I was reviewing security camera installations for a new commercial building, watching the contractor demonstrate how the wireless cameras could stream to multiple devices simultaneously. That's when it hit me. Melissa had betrayed me in private, but her judgment day would be public. I spent the next 2 weeks researching. Amazon became my weapon supplier. Wireless cameras small enough to stick anywhere, powerful enough to stream HD video, simple enough that even I could operate them. I ordered them to my office, tested them after hours, learned every feature. The irony wasn't lost on me. I'd spent years building things, and now I was building the perfect trap. Creating the family group chat required finesse. Melissa's family was close-knit. Her parents, 2 sisters, brother, and several cousins all lived within an hour of us. I messaged them individually first, explaining I was planning a surprise 15th anniversary party for Melissa next month and needed everyone on the same page. The group chat was born. Melissa's surprise. I typed carefully. "Don't mention this to her. I'll be sharing updates and need everyone to keep notifications on. The big reveal will be coming soon." Her mother, Linda, responded with heart emojis. Her sister Kate said she couldn't wait. Her father, Tom, a man who'd treated me like a son since day one, replied that he was proud of me for being such a thoughtful husband. Each response twisted the knife deeper. Meanwhile, I played the perfect husband. I brought her flowers, just because. I suggested we try that new Italian place she'd been mentioning. When she said she was tired from her long day of painting, I rubbed her feet while we watched Netflix. She had no idea she was living on borrowed time. The legal preparation happened in parallel. I met with David Brennan, a divorce attorney recommended by a divorced colleague, at a coffee shop 2 towns over. Adultery doesn't affect asset division much in no-fault states, he explained, but documented evidence can impact alimony and show character issues if custody becomes relevant. We don't have kids, I told him. Then it's about protecting your assets and your reputation, he replied. Document everything. Keep evidence secure and backed up. I also opened a separate bank account, moved important documents to a safety deposit box, and mentally cataloged what was mine versus ours. The house was in both our names, but I'd made every payment. Her car was paid off, a gift for her birthday, 2 years ago. The furniture, the art, the life we'd built, everything would need to be divided, like splitting apart conjoined twins. The surveillance prep required multiple trips to Thomas's neighborhood. I learned his patterns. He worked from home Tuesdays and Thursdays, left his bedroom window cracked even in winter, had a perfect sight line from the street to his living room. I identified camera placement spots during evening jogs through his neighborhood, my hoodie up looking like any other fitness enthusiast. Testing was crucial. I mounted cameras around my own house, streaming to my phone while I adjusted angles and checked quality. The technology was remarkable. Crystal clear video, excellent audio, night vision capabilities I wouldn't need. I practiced until I could. Set up a camera in under 30 seconds. 5 days before execution, Melissa gave me the perfect opportunity. Sarah's having a rough time, she said over breakfast. I was thinking of doing a girls' night Friday. Maybe stay over at her place so we can drink wine and talk. That's thoughtful of you, I replied, butter not melting in my mouth. Sarah's lucky to have a friend like you. She smiled, reached across the table to squeeze my hand. You're the best for understanding, she said warmly. Some husbands would be jealous. When Melissa kissed me goodbye and said she was going to Sarah's for the evening, I smiled and told her to have fun. She had no idea she was walking into the most public humiliation of her life and that her entire family would have front-row seats. Friday arrived gray and drizzling, fitting weather for an execution. Melissa spent extra time getting ready, 40 minutes on hair and makeup for a girls' night. She packed an overnight bag with her new lingerie barely hidden under pajamas I'd bought her last Christmas. The kiss goodbye was perfunctory, her mind already elsewhere. Have fun with Sarah, I said casually. Tell her I hope things get better. I will, she replied distractedly. Don't wait up. I waited 15 minutes before following, my equipment bag ready in the truck. She drove the familiar route to Fairfield Heights, never checking her mirrors, never suspecting her husband was 3 cars behind. She parked in Thomas's driveway this time, getting careless or maybe just comfortable. I watched her knock, watched him answer in a silk robe like some cliché from a bad movie. The kiss in the doorway was passionate, her overnight bag forgotten, on his porch for several seconds. Once they were inside, I moved quickly. The rain was a gift, keeping neighbors indoors and muffling sound. The first camera went on his bedroom windowsill, the cracked window letting me position it perfectly. The second captured the living room through a gap in his blinds. Both connected to my phone immediately, showing empty rooms waiting for their actors. I returned to my truck and opened the family group chat. I typed, "Hey everyone, got something special to share with you all about Melissa. It's happening right now. Make sure you're somewhere you can watch a video. This is going to be unforgettable." The responses came quickly. Linda said she was excited. Kate was at home with her husband. Tom was in his workshop but had his phone ready. 14 family members and close friends, all waiting for what they thought would be a sweet anniversary surprise. Movement on my phone screen. Melissa and Thomas entered the bedroom, wine glasses in hand, laughing about something. She'd already lost her jacket. He was down to a t-shirt and boxers. They were comfortable, familiar, rehearsed in their dance. My finger hovered over the stream button. One tap would change everything. No going back, no undoing what was about to happen. I tapped. I typed quickly. Going live in 3, 2, 1. Enjoy the show, everyone! The stream began just as Thomas pulled Melissa close, his hands where mine used to go, her response eager and practiced. The chat exploded within seconds. Kate typed, "What the hell?" Linda messaged. "Daniel, what is this?" Tom wrote, "Turn this off now." Cousin Jennifer sent, "Oh my God." Aunt Marie asked, "Is this real?" But I didn't turn it off. I let them watch. As their daughter, sister, niece laughed and moaned with another man. Let them see what I'd been blind to for months. The technical quality was perfect. 4K resolution betrayal, surround sound adultery. The best part came at minute 7. Melissa's phone, charging on Thomas's nightstand, began buzzing incessantly. She ignored it at first, too involved in her activities, but the buzzing intensified. 14 people simultaneously calling and texting. Thomas noticed first. "Your phone's going crazy," he said, pulling back slightly. "Ignore it," she gasped breathlessly. "It's probably just..." But she looked. I watched her face change in real time as she saw the notification preview. "Mom, what are you doing? We can see everything!" The scream was primal. She grabbed for her phone, naked and shaking, scrolling through dozens of messages as the reality crashed over her. Thomas was shouting, confused, trying to see her screen. "What's going on?" he demanded. She found the group chat, saw the live stream of herself, the angle, the clarity, the unmistakable reality that her entire family was watching her betray her marriage in high definition. "No, no, 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 no!" she screamed, spinning around, looking for the camera, finally spotting it on the windowsill. Thomas was cursing, scrambling for clothes, shouting about privacy and lawsuits. Melissa just collapsed, phone in hand, watching herself, on the screen as tears streamed down her face. The stream ran for 12 minutes total before Thomas knocked the camera down. 12 minutes that destroyed 14 years of carefully maintained deception. The group chat continued exploding. Family, members arguing, taking sides, expressing disgust, shock, sympathy for me. But Melissa's messages to me went unanswered. She texted frantically, "Daniel, please!" Then, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry," followed by, "Please answer me," and "It's not what you think." Then, "Please come home." Finally, "I need to explain," as I drove home. My phone buzzed with messages from her family, some angry, some supportive, all shocked. But the most important message was the silence from Melissa herself after that initial burst. She knew she had lost everything in one devastating moment, and there was no coming back from what everyone had witnessed. 6 months have passed since the night I made Melissa famous in the worst possible way. I'm sitting in my kitchen, the same kitchen where she used to cook chicken parmesan while hiding the scent of another man's cologne, drinking coffee from a mug she painted for my birthday 3 years ago. I kept it, not out of sentiment, but as a reminder that people can create beautiful things and still be capable of ugly choices. Melissa came home that night at 3 a.m., not to reconcile, we both knew that was impossible, but to beg. She was still in the clothes she'd hastily thrown on at Thomas's, her makeup streaked into a horror show mask. She alternated between sobbing apologies and angry accusations. "How could I?" she cried. "How dare I?" she demanded. Didn't I understand it meant nothing? She pleaded. 14 months of nothing? I asked calmly. 63 visits to his house that meant nothing? The precision of my knowledge broke her. She realized I'd known for weeks, maybe months, watching her lie to my face every single day. The violation she felt at being recorded paled against the violation I'd endured with every deception. The divorce was surgical. With video evidence of adultery witnessed by 14 people, her lawyer advised accepting my terms. No alimony despite her lack of income. The house stayed mine. I'd made every payment anyway. She kept her car, her art supplies, and half our savings. Clean, quick, finished in 4 months. The family fallout was nuclear. Tom, her father, didn't speak to her for 2 months. When he finally did, it was to tell her she'd broken his heart worse than her mother's. "You shamed our whole family," he said during that painful phone call. Linda tried to play peacemaker but couldn't hide her disgust. Kate took Melissa in but kicked her out after 3 weeks when her husband grew uncomfortable. The extended family split, some calling me a monster for the public humiliation, others saying Melissa got what she deserved. Thomas vanished immediately. His LinkedIn shows he relocated to Portland. He never contacted Melissa again after that night, wanting no part of the nuclear fallout. She'd lost her husband, her lover, and her reputation in 12 minutes of live stream. Melissa now lives in her childhood bedroom at age 36. She works part-time at a craft store, her art career destroyed by the scandal that went semi-viral in our small city. Someone had screen-recorded portions of the stream before Thomas knocked the camera down. It circulated enough that she became locally infamous, the woman whose husband exposed her affair to everyone she knew. Some mutual friends think I went too far. "You should have just confronted her," they say. Divorced quietly, maintained dignity, they argue. But they didn't lie awake for months wondering if they were going crazy. They didn't kiss someone goodbye each morning knowing that person was planning to betray them by afternoon. They didn't have their trust, that fundamental requirement of love, methodically destroyed day by day. I'm dating now. Nothing serious yet, but there's a woman from my gym who makes me laugh. I told her the whole story on our 3rd date, expecting her to run. Instead, she said with a wry smile, "Remind me never to piss you off," and ordered another drink. There's something healing about being with someone who knows your capacity for revenge and chooses you anyway. The house feels different now, lighter somehow, despite being half empty. I replaced our bedroom furniture and repainted the walls. The construction manager in me appreciates the metaphor. Sometimes you have to demolish completely before you can rebuild properly. Last week, I got a text from Melissa. "I think about that night every day. Not just what you did, but what I did to deserve it. I'm sorry doesn't cover it, but I'm sorry." I didn't respond. There's nothing left to say. She created her own downfall with every lie, every deception, every time she came home to me smelling like another man and smiled like nothing was wrong. I just provided the stage and the audience. Some would say revenge is bitter, that it leaves you empty. But sitting here in my quiet kitchen, morning sun streaming through windows, she'll never look through again. I feel nothing but peace. The truth, even when it destroys, is always better than a perfect lie. Justice isn't always about what's fair. Sometimes it's about balance, returning the energy someone put into the world back to them, concentrated and refined. Melissa spent 14 months humiliating me in private. I spent 12 minutes returning the favor in public. The scales are balanced. The story is over. And I can finally build something new on ground that isn't shifting beneath my feet. And so, we've reached the end of today's story. Was it what you expected, or did it take a twist you didn't see coming? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below, and let's get a conversation going. If this story kept you hooked, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new here or just haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to join our community. I bring you fresh, captivating stories every day, so click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.